Hello, my name is JJ Omojua, and you're welcome to Rubbing Minds. Today, we're discussing a number of issues. Some of you probably already suspect the ministerial list. We're also discussing the FBI 18 Nigerians cyber fraud issue. But straight to the ministerial list. I have two gentlemen in the house. My brother, Dayo Israel, he says he's not a politician these days, but I mean, what would a politician say?
I'm a technocrat.
And Wale Oshunde, you're welcome on the show.
Wale is a
Nice for having me.
Dayo,
Wale is a politician. Look at his cap.
Where's your cap?
No, for me, I try to, go solo, go youthful.
Oh, you forgot it.
Yes.
So guys, the ministerial list, first of all, we had to deal with the list. Now we're talking about the fact that people now have their portfolios. First of all, what's your impression of the matching of the ministers to the portfolios?
Okay, so firstly, I'd like to state that I'm not really impressed, because we have more politicians than technocrats on board, because I now look at the whole thing as mere political compensation, because if you see that very list and you have a very critical assessment of, the personalities and then their portfolios, you discover that, over 90% of them are basically people who supported the president in one form or the other, during the last election. And then I do not really think that the same old faces that we're used to should be the same set of people, that will continue to, go around the center of power and all that. I really do not see that taking us to that next level that we really want to be, and that's the truth.
Okay, so Dayo, first of all, this has to be said. You're a member of the APC.
By the grace of God.
So that has to be made clear. So that has to be seen in the reflection of whatever you have to say.
Absolutely.
So do you agree that we don't have technocrats?
First, one of the things that I wanted to bounce back on Wale is that he mentioned that, the list has friends of the president. I wonder if he wanted the president to appoint his enemies into his cabinet. You must remember clearly that the composition of the cabinet or cabinet members, either at the state level, the local government level, or the presidential level, is at the sole discretion of the president and commander-in-chief. He's the visionary. He's the one that has set a direction for his government and administration. He has been voted into power. It is his discretion to bring on board people that he believes shares his vision, understands his direction, and will be able to cooperate and work with him.
So you're impressed with the list? You're impressed with the matching of the individuals to the different ministries?
So, like I said, the first part that I want to mention is that it is the president's decision. So it's not...
I think that goes without saying.
Yes, that goes without saying.
Are you impressed with the list and the matching of the ministers?
I believe that based on the people that he has brought on board, he has been able to identify people to the best of their capacities based on the people that he has brought on board. Of course, there are many of them who will begin to understand the work better, but he has brought in people...
They will learn on the job.
They would not necessarily learn. So I'll give you an example. People have made a lot of issues about Governor Egbeshola saying that he doesn't understand what internal affairs does. But the reality is that this man has been governor for 8 years. He's been commissioner. So you understand the heart of governor. I don't even think there's a point on that issue. You understand? So he will be able to handle those issues from security. He was the chief security officer of the state. But what is first important that people must understand is that this man has had people who have worked with him, either they were technocrats or politicians, who he believes that he can work with and carry along. Now, talk about, I say that I'm not a politician. I practice politics, but I'm not a professional politician.
Okay.
I have a career. But the important part in that is there are people like myself who have worked in this government or who have worked for government at different level. It is only fair that, whoever is the principal can bring the people who have worked with him who also have the professional competence to deliver on his own mandate.
Dayo, I need to remind you, campaign has ended. Wale, what ministries are you going to be paying attention to?
Okay, so if you permit me, before I answer that question, I'd just like to say something about what Dayo said, because,
Are you also a politician?
Look at his cap now. What is a politician?
If you are not, you should be one. Okay.
What party?
You're on track.
Well, I do not have a party as of now, but
you are very much on track.
Of course, thank you. So you see, the truth is that I agree 100% that the president has the prerogative to appoint anybody that so wishes, to work with him in his cabinet. That goes without saying. But you see, one thing that really boggles my mind is the fact that these same old people who have been around since 1999, since return to democracy.
Do you have a problem with their age or their ideas or maybe their ability to get the job done?
And with everything.
Yeah,
and
because
that's the truth.
for me, when you say old people,
Yes.
no.
When I say old people, I'm not really talking about the age.
Okay.
I'm talking about the same set of people that have been,
Okay.
on the corridors of power. And that's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
How do you explain the fact that just one person has been there since 1999, and then he's still there till now? And this is a country of over 180 million people, and you're telling me that we do not have, the intellectual capacity to bring on board 37 or 36 people to run governance in this country? I mean, we've got to be kidding. You see, one very vital point that we must all remember in this country is the fact that people like Okonjo-Iweala, people like Akinwumi Adesina, were never on the corridors of power before they were selected to come and run the affairs of the various ministries that they held in this country. And then you can go back and trace their records, with respect to performance. And that's exactly what I'm saying. So, we have a number of Nigerians...
But Wale, that point has been made. I'm going to come back to you, Dayo, but I need to know, we have about 29 ministries for the 3 ministers. So a number of those ministers are ministers of state. Are there ministries we should be paying attention to?
Yes.
Okay.
Number 1 should be power, Ministry of Power. Because, look, Nigerians want power resolved. The issues around power must be resolved in this country. Until then, we are joking about job security, we're joking about food security, we're joking about economic, emancipation and what have you. We're joking about a lot of things if we do not fix power. Number 2 is works. How do you explain the fact that Lagos-Ibadan Expressway is still in a very deplorable state at the moment, and then people are not able to travel peacefully? I still cannot understand it. How do we then talk about security in this country? We must be talking about security. We must be talking about fixing the economy. So, I mean, I'm interested in the Ministry of Trade and Investment because the ease of doing business in Nigeria has now become a scam. And that's the truth. Young entrepreneurs are not able... Oh, yes, because, I mean, it is really, really tough to do business in Nigeria. And then we're talking about entrepreneurship programs and what have you and all that. And then these guys are saying unnecessary duplicity in terms of agencies of government and what you pay. You have to battle with FRS at the federal level. You battle with states, internally generated revenue service or organizations. You also talk about environment, exactly, unnecessary. So these are pointers that would actually drive investments out of our country. We really need to focus on all of these key ministries. And as a matter of fact, all other ministries are very much important.
Of course, all ministries are important.
Yes.
Maybe some are more important than the
I
others.
wanted to...
before you... So let's be clear. This is not a debate.
Yes.
It's not a debate in that sense, right? Yes. Nobody's electing anybody right now.
Absolutely.
He made a point about technocrats and politicians. Yeah. So in that sense, I want to ask you a question. So you're running for office, you're trying to be president. I am a professional, then I also join your campaign. Yes. He's a professional, he doesn't join your campaign. But when you make me minister, they say he's a technocrat because he didn't join your campaign. Yeah. What do you say to that? Because there are politicians that are actually technocrats.
Yes, there are. Right? A lot of them.
But there are technocrats that don't join politics, that feel that they want to be part of it. What do you say? Because that comes up a lot.
Yes.
It's as if when you become a politician, your technocrat side disappears.
Yes. And that's why I mentioned to you the first thing that I'm not a politician, even though I practice
Forget
politics.
about yourself.
No. So it's a general impression. People think that just because you live your career, you live your professional life, and you get into politics, it means that you're no more a technocrat, or it means that you don't have professional experience. That's not true. There are people who are still practicing politics, but who are also professionals in their own right. Now, what I wanted to first identify is that if you look at the list of 43 ministers, you will find out that some professionals actually who have never been majorly politicians, like Jerry Agba from Cross River State, like Sunday Dare, who technically is a technocrat. He's worked in many international organizations. He's been in the media. The closest he's been to politics is working for Achiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which is not a political position, and also, recently becoming the NCC executive secretary or one of the commissioners. So there are a few people who have come into this cabinet who are full-time or professionals in their career. But there are also many of them who were politicians, but who also have a professional life outside of this. The reality is, if you want to, Nigeria belongs to all of us, and we all have a responsibility to be able to build the country. Now, if people have come together and say, we believe in this vision, we share your mandate, we share your vision, we want to contribute to this mandate, and they've been part of it, we cannot, after the election, and they've contributed their time, their resources, say that we're looking for people who were not involved in politics.
So our ministerial sought some kind of reward.
It's not a reward. It's the fact that if I can contribute to your campaign, then I also, my usefulness does not end up
The
on
other
the
point that
campaign.
needs to be made is also
I'm also
that,
useful for you in the governance.
Thank you, Dara. The other point that needs to be made is that, so I think for years now, everybody agrees that the size of government is too big.
Yes.
We need to manage the size of government.
Absolutely.
And APC sort of pretended to be interested in reducing the size of government. How do you justify that reality with the contradiction of...
So you would understand
43
that...
ministers? That's a lot.
If you look at it, actually,
That's a lot.
in the last administration, the 2015 to 2019, there were a lot of foundations that was laid by this government. And now coming into the new administration, which is the next level government, there's a lot of more work to be done. The reality is that the president has his final 4-year term. It cannot come back again as president. And as a result of that, Adventure needs to achieve so much more and finish a lot of work that he has started.
So if that's the argument, why doesn't he just appoint 100 ministers?
No, this is the point. Of course, there's also the constitutional provisions that you cannot appoint more than 42, 43. That's the first part of that.
Is there a constitutional provision?
Yes. Number one, you must appoint
at least across the different states.
And then one per region as well, which is another 6 or something. Yeah.
No. So the 36 covers the regions automatically.
Yes. Then no, it covers the 36 state. Then he also has a right to be able to appoint 1 per region extra to the 36 state.
But is that a cap on the number of ministers?
I believe so. I believe that, from based on the 36 and the 1 per region, you can have about, 42 or 43.
Okay, hopefully we'll come to that.
Yeah.
And Wale, this government, if there's one word that it would place, if you did a word cloud of the most popular word or phrase that goes along with this government, that word is corruption, anti-corruption, right? But a lot of people have also said that the ministerial list doesn't justify that stance, because there are a number of people, they've not been convicted, but there's a perception of corruption around them. One of the things that they used against 1 or 2 candidates in the last election. What do you say to that? Do you think it's okay to have people who are still trying to save their name in courts for corruption be in the cabinet?
Okay, so and we have to be very honest in answering that question. You see, a man is innocent until the court has actually declared that he is guilty of an offense or a crime. And so to that extent, I would say, yes, these people are innocent. So I wouldn't want us to actually go that route at all. But one very important thing, and it still goes back to that very same issue that I raised earlier on, and that's the fact that there are 180 million people in this country, if not more. And we should be able to have 36 new faces that can actually help the president achieve his objectives. Because let's be very honest with ourselves. The president has a massive following in the country at the moment. And then the truth is that I want to have the perception of the fact that the president has a very clear mind. He wants to really deliver, on the promises that he has made. But you see, he cannot do it alone. And that's the reason he needs people who are going to be bold, courageous, very honest, and straight to the point to help him achieve all of these things that he wants to deliver to the tables of Nigerians. Now, my problem, and I continue to maintain that stance, is that, look, you cannot continue to recycle same old faces that some people even have issues with, and you leave technocrats out of it, and then you appoint 80% of politicians who are after one thing or the other, especially the next election. And that's my problem.
Okay, so that without saying something you've said before, you're going to say something.
I think I'll pass. This issue of
if
talking
you're going
about...
to pass, then let me just say, how do we... So now we have these ministries. We now have our ministers. That's a good thing. 6 months since the president was elected, which, of course, is very long. But we're not going to go that route now. Is there the possibility of having agencies that are ineffective, that are maybe on surplus to requirements? Is the APC looking at reducing the size of these agencies so we can just focus on more efficiency and agencies that can work?
Absolutely. One of the things that you would also realize is that in the new ministry, there have been some realignments. For example, there's an introduction of a Ministry of Natural Disaster Management and, Humanitarian Affairs. So there's been a lot of revamping of the ministries. And you would also see that some good hands have been brought together. You were asking earlier about ministries to watch out for. I would say Ministry of Finance. The woman there is doing a lot of good work, and I believe that a second time is going to give her opportunity to consolidate on what she's done. For example, she's also looking at, a lot of credibility index work and also ensuring that, our financial system, we're able to get in more money and government revenue is bumped up and, managed effectively. You also look at Ministry of Youth and Sport. I have very great hopes about Sunday Diary, for example. I believe it will make a lot of impact in that era, in that ministry. Also, you should look at Ministry of Internal Affairs. I believe it's a very critical ministry as well in this new administration based on the issues going on across the country.
Is there a law or something in the Constitution that says nobody under 40 can be minister? I just want to be sure.
No, there's no law there.
Because from the appointment, it does look like that.
Not just that. As a matter of fact, I'm one of the people that actually were advocating that the president would, bring in a young person into the cabinet, a young person who had also worked with him. I was going to mention earlier that the president said he wanted people that he knows very well and he understands and, they speak the same language.
So he doesn't know any young
No,
person.
Not that. Of course, some of us had even pushed for people like, I won't mention names, young people who had contributed to his work, in particular in the first administration, but that did not happen. Perhaps the president also have other plans because, like I said to people, you don't have to be a minister to contribute to government. Look at, for example, Abike Dabiri doing very great from when she was senior special assistant to when she became the chairman of the NIDO Commission or the Nigerian Diaspora Commission. So you don't have to be a cabinet minister to be able to make an impact in your own
to serve Nigeria.
To serve Nigeria.
While looking towards the future, and against some of the things you've said now, what should we expect from President Buhari and his team?
Well, they just need to sit down, on a table of sincere notion to say, where do we go from here? They have just 4 years to prove to Nigerians.
Less than 4 years now.
Oh, so that's correct. So to prove to Nigerians that the country can be great again, and then that they really mean well for this country. You see, people are dying. People need to be sure of their security and safety in this country. And maybe I just digress a little. I see no point in the creation of a Ministry of Police Affairs, for instance. Because by law, the IG reports directly to the president. So now, what is the minister for police affairs going to be doing? Or is the IG going to be taking orders from him, or is he going to be reporting to that person? That's one. Number two, I think there needs to be a law in this country that prohibits all these state ministers and what have you. It's unnecessary duplicity. There is a substantive minister who will definitely not allow, or who will most likely not allow a state minister to.
Let me help.
1 minute. What's next level now?
Next level is, for example, next level for one is more jobs, economic prosperity, security of lives and property.
Will this team deliver it?
I believe that the president and the vice president would bring up, but not just on the cabinet ministers list, but in other areas, people who are going to help them to achieve. They have done a good job to lay the foundation on the first step. They've tried to do their best at that level. Now they want to consolidate, and they're going to bring people on board. And I believe that they would consolidate.
Consolidate is a good point to stop. Thank you very much, Wale, for coming.
Thank you.
Great conversation.
Thank you, JJ.
It's always good to see you.
Thank you, JJ.
There's never enough time to have these conversations.